Hello and welcome to Baseplate Reviews. A bit of a different one today, and not just because I'm on camera, but because I'm not usually one to talk too much about LEGO Star Wars. And I'm most certainly not a LEGO Star Wars collector. There are other YouTubers and reviewers who specialise in that, and I wouldn't hold a candle to them if I would start reviewing those sets or creating my own diorama set, etc. However, I am interested in the business of LEGO, and Star Wars is a huge part of that, both currently and going back 25 years to the first sets released in 1999, which were the first movie property licensed sets LEGO ever did. Interestingly, they also did release Winnie the Pooh Duplo at the same time. It's also a theme that will continue to at least 2032, as LEGO signed on for another 10 years of LEGO Star Wars in 2022. However, whilst LEGO Star Wars is still a huge part of the LEGO business, Star Wars is still primarily a film and televisual property. All the rest of it, whether that's toys, books or theme park attractions, spawned from the films, and now also the TV shows. And that's where things have been tricky for Star Wars for a little while now. The original trilogy of films came out between 1977 and 1983, and very little that's come out since then has truly matched up to those original films. Some stuff's been good, and of course for the most part the films have continued to make money, at least outside of Solo, a Star Wars story, although even the mainline Rise of Skywalker didn't exactly knock it out of the park considering production and marketing costs. So whilst LEGO are tied to Star Wars until at least 2032, it's becoming trickier to guarantee that making sets on every new film and TV show is a surefire win. But outside of the anthology series like Star Wars Tales and Visions, LEGO have produced at least one set for everything, including the likes of Andor with one set. Andor actually is genuinely good for the many of you that missed that. The pretty dreadful The Book of Boba Fett got itself 2 sets, although you'd be forgiven for thinking one of them was a Mandalorian set. We had 4 sets for Ahsoka, with some of them even coming out before the TV show released. Even some relatively speaking more low-profile animated series like Resistance and The Young Jedi Adventures have had multiple LEGO sets. Hell, we've even got the $140 Onyx Cinder set from Skeleton Crew, a series that isn't due to release until December. If you want to go even further, we've even had a set based on Galaxy's Edge, which is a Star Wars themed land in the US Disney parks. So we know that LEGO basically do Star Wars sets for every TV show and film, plus more, and these sets sometimes even come out before the TV show or film releases, apart from in one instance, and that's particularly relevant at the moment, and that exception is with Disney Plus or D Plus TV show The Acolyte. It's relevant because the show just came out, but also because it's just been announced that it's been cancelled, to the joy of many and the chagrin of, let's say, others. As far as I was aware, there weren't any leaks of supposed sets for The Acolyte, and we know that there's relatively little that doesn't get leaked about LEGO sets, at least in terms of rumoured set names and numbers and often full-blown pictures, and LEGO Star Wars sets are always being leaked. So the question we have to ask is why? Why were there no Acolyte LEGO sets, not even minifigures? Was it something from a technical standpoint, like Disney Lucasfilm was so secretive about their upcoming project that they didn't let even their brand partner LEGO have a look at concept art or stuff being worked on in production? Was it just that LEGO couldn't pick out anything from the series that had the visual appeal to make sets out of? As far as I could see, there weren't any amazing new ships, but the marketing did hype up a big fight scene, and there were lots of lightsabers in that fight, plus even a lightsaber whip or light whip in the show too. There were even some visually distinctive characters, even for Star Wars, with a Wookiee Jedi and a bad guy with a very creepy helmet that would have been great in LEGO form. So if we can see that there were at least some elements that could have made good LEGO minifigs and minifig accessories, and we guess that LEGO could have had access to at least some production visuals, we're still left with the question of why no Acolyte sets. Could it be as simple as they predicted that the series was going to be a flop? It inarguably was a flop, with viewing figures that dropped off a cliff after the first couple of episodes. And it's been canned just weeks after the series finale. It was also just pretty hated upon, in my opinion for good reason, with lots of complaints that it went against almost everything that Star Wars is, especially in terms of it being a battle between good and evil, the light and dark sides of the Force. There are lots of videos you can see online about unwanted Star Wars toys clogging up discount shelves and stores, and maybe LEGO just saved themselves the bother of another unwanted licensed set. Look at how poorly sets from other Disney-owned properties like Black Panther 2 or Avatar have sold. We can tell this by how often and how long LEGO have had these sets on sale for. They produced too many, had to charge too high a price thanks to the licensing costs, and fans just don't want them in the numbers to make designing and producing them profitable enough. The other thing, of course, is that LEGO is primarily a toy, and toys are primarily sold to kids. And Star Wars was a perfect vehicle for that, as George Lucas always maintained that Star Wars is supposed to be for kids. The Acolyte, however, just isn't really a kid-friendly show. That isn't unique in terms of D+ shows, as Andor wasn't really either, and that got just the one set. Maybe LEGO just thought it wasn't worth the bother this time. However, that's a pretty low vote of confidence in the show, and by extension, a little bit in the property itself. And maybe that's why LEGO have gone pretty big on LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, which is an upcoming 4-part miniseries due to release on D+ in mid-September, with 3 sets already released under this banner, including the very well-received The Dark Falcon, which is effectively a black version of Millennium Falcon with some super unique minifigures. Maybe LEGO have just decided that they can't rely on new Star Wars shows and films providing them with the content, and specifically the kid-orientated content that they need to sell lots and lots of LEGO. So they've basically taken their fate into their own hands a little bit more. Disney are, thanks to the multiple franchises they own, LEGO's biggest franchising partner, with Star Wars being the biggest part of that. But with Star Wars floundering, the MCU currently in a rut, and other things like Avatar selling poorly in LEGO form, and backlash against various live-action remakes of classic Disney films, maybe LEGO are at least beginning to think about weakening those ties somewhat. Video games link-ups seem to be becoming a bigger part of LEGO's business, with Minecraft and Nintendo already being huge themes, plus Fortnite sets looking like they'll be a huge hit too. Do LEGO have the resources to dedicate the amount of designers to Star Wars sets that now seemingly have no guarantee of being the hits they once were? It's interesting to think about. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Are you one of the handfuls of the Acolyte fans that just couldn't wait to get Amanda Stenberg in minifig form? Do you think that actually we could still get the Acolyte sets and LEGO are just lagging behind in getting them to market? Is this something we'll see with future Star Wars properties? LEGO just assessing whether it will be worth them producing sets before committing to it? Like I said, a bit of a different one today, and hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do leave a like. And if you're not subscribed already, then consider that too. I should have a video review of the new Creator 3-in-1 Modern House set, all 3 builds, up pretty soon, so that will likely be the next thing on the channel. And with that, there's just one last thing to say. Be good.